What's going on YouTube? So we're here at the international launch of the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Now you may have already seen our walk around, a really in-depth walk around of the hybrid model, but we also wanted to show you the gasoline powered model as well. So we're here with this model and we're going to go through and give you guys a nice walkthrough of all the design features. Obviously this is a very radically redesigned vehicle, so you're going to want to see all the design features on the outside as well as the inside. So let's go ahead and hop in. Now, of course, the thing that really stands out the most about this next generation model is just how different it looks. There is not one element of this all-new Santa Fe that looks anything like the outgoing generation. We've adopted a very outdoor-focused design that is very boxy, very rugged and tough looking. And of course, that's going to be the same for both gasoline-powered model as well as the hybrid model. So up here in the front, once again, you got that boxy design. All the elements up here are going to have a similar kind of design characteristic. A lot of things are going to also have the H shape to them. So you'll notice down here in the lower bumper, we have this H shape that's going to run all through here. You're going to see that same signature up here with the lighting as well. So you've got this light bar that runs across the top and your H-shaped daytime running light and turn signal indicator right here. Additionally, this is all going to have an animation at night as well. Now taking a look at our wheels. On this model here, we actually have the 21-inch alloys. In the last video, we had the 20-inch alloys. So as you can see, really nice looking design on these. I always love the way that Hyundai has very unique designed wheels, and this is no exception. Gloss black finish as well on board. And then you've got the gloss black finish around these really squared off wheel arches that really support that rugged off-road vibe that this model has. Santa Fe branding right there. We do have gloss black underneath of the mirrors. You have the green finish up here at the top, and we do have blind spot monitoring built into the mirrors themselves.
Now here at the side of the all-new Santa Fe, you're going to see that squared off design once again occurring. Now, I think this looks very similar to the Land Rover Defender. Comment your thoughts down below, but certainly it has a very cool look to it when it comes to the side design. Now, additionally, I do want to point out a couple of your features with this model. So we do have your roof rails up here. Additionally, you have this side grab, and that allows you to open up the rear door and just easily get up to anything that you have loaded on the roof. Once again, supporting this vehicle's outdoorsy vibe. Now, as far as the overall length, it's up 1.7 inches for this all-new model. It's going to be about 190 inches long. Now, moving around to the rear design, you're once again going to find that very boxy shape going on here. I think it's a very radical design, and I'm very happy Hyundai went for this design because I feel like a lot of brands wouldn't take this risk, and it came out absolutely gorgeous here in person. Here in the back, we have our blacked out Hyundai emblems. It looks really good paired with this green paint color. We have a hidden rear wiper, a spoiler up top, and then you're going to notice these taillights. These are probably the most controversial element about the rear design. These are going to be full LED taillights, and they're going to be very low mounted compared to a lot of the competition. Hyundai said they wanted that unique look for the Santa Fe, and certainly it does have that. Now, dropping down to this lower area, all of this is going to be finished in a piano black. Hyundai says they're shooting for a maximum tow rating of 4,500 pounds with the Santa Fe model. One thing worth noting is that some of the gas models will have an exposed exhaust outlet, whereas the hybrid Santa Fe will not. Now, when it comes to your safety systems, Hyundai is going to be offering their full suite of driver assist technologies. This is a family vehicle after all, so all four of your active safety features will most likely be standard on every single model, including Highway Drive Assist 2.0. Additionally, you're going to have their smart park system, as well as a few new features for the Santa Fe brand. And guys, that's going to wrap up the exterior design of this all-new Santa Fe, but there is a lot I want to show you on the inside. But before...
If you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
And now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. We have the beautiful Calligraphy model on board, so let's see what we're going to get inside. Of course, you do have smart entry. You have Hyundai's digital key as well. And take a look at that interior, guys. Very, very premium and upscale environment, even more so than the existing generation in its calligraphy form, which is already very nice. Let's talk a little bit about some material choices and color options. You are going to have a faux leather on most of the models, but this calligraphy model will for sure have the Napa leather. So this, of course, is one of the most premium types of leather you can get. We have it finished in this kind of nearly white look. It looks absolutely excellent. Even has things like our little H stitching throughout, and you'll see that reflected in many other places inside this cabin as well. The seat itself is also very special because you'll notice we have a lot of adjustments. We also have the new Relax seat. So this is similar to what you may have seen in the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but if we press this button here, it's actually going to recline the seat all the way back, pop out a recliner. That way you can just take absolutely epic naps, obviously, while you're not driving. We do have our memory seats up there as well. And let's climb inside and take a look at some of the details. Now, like always, the first thing I want to do inside of the cabin itself is talk about the rest of the materials. Very impressive selection as well. So over here on our door trim, we have a nice leather material. We have this really realistic faux wood trim on this model, and it's going to be included on the calligraphy. You do have different types of trim pieces depending on which model. Full information on that is going to be released later on for North America, that is. Across the upper dash, we do have a full leatherette finishing here as well. More leatherette through here, more of the faux wood running through the center section. We have the H shape inside of the vent detail that goes all the way across. And then as we come down to the center section, we even have the leatherette material running through here. Everything feels very nicely put together, even though this is a pre-production model. Now, of course, we can't fire it up completely, but I'll go ahead and turn on the electronics so we can take a look at what we have on board here. The main thing that catches your attention right from the start, of course, is going to be the new double 12.3-inch display setup. It is even curved, so it kind of curves slightly, as you can tell, when it comes to the infotainment system, keeping it kind of angled toward the driver, which is very nice. The gauge cluster is also 12.3 inches, and it should have, full customizability, just like other Hyundai products. We also have a head-up display above it as well. Now off to the left side, you'll notice that there's a fingerprint reader. This is, I believe, the first Hyundai to get this. Other Genesis products have had this in the US at least. And then the steering wheel. This definitely looks a lot like the Defender we were recently just taking a quick look at. That is not a bad thing though, guys. This is super premium looking. Check this out, two-tone leather, really soft finish on this leather as well. We got the French stitch through there. You got the 4 little dots, which is Morse code for Hyundai. You've seen that on some of their other models. And this particular model is going to have the manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Another model we saw had the power steering wheel. Like I said, we won't have complete availability information until probably later on in the year, closer to the LA Auto Show. Hyundai says that they'll be able to provide us with some more specific North American specifications. Now, the emphasis with this model was actually designing the inside first, then designing the exterior. So we're going to have really maximized space, and I'm super impressed by the storage that's in this model. So not only do we have traditional things like a center console here, that's quite deep after you remove that little tray, we also have innovative features such as the fact that this opens from the back as well, so the rear passengers can access it. We have huge cup holders designed for Americans' big drinks. Double wireless phone charging pads, so both people can charge it simultaneously. A gigantic center pass-through that's going to be available to you guys because we have an electronic shifter, which we might as well show that off as well. It's up here on the column, just like with the Ioniq products. You just twist it for drive and reverse. There will be a 360 camera as well on certain models. But we're not done with the storage yet. As you can see, we have an iPad right here stored inside of this storage shelf. We even have a special storage shelf up here. So the passenger has 2 places to store things. Very interesting and unique. Now as we kind of come down to the center area, we have a dedicated 6.6-inch display for climate control. So some of these things are going to be touch capacitive, but we also have physical controls here, which I like. So you can actually, easily adjust the temperature right through there. And then you can just do the kind of extra stuff like your heated and ventilated seats over here in the touchscreen itself. Above that, you have your audio controls physically laid out as well. And we do have a Bose sound system on this upper end trim level with some metal speaker grills up here in the A-pillar. Back to the display itself, like I was saying earlier, it is a 12.3-inch display. It's running the latest software on board. So if I can just cycle this real fast, I'll show it off to you. We have, like I said, newest software, so really smooth, really nice setup here. The graphic kind of reminded me of a Genesis product. Up top, we have a rear camera mirror system, which, like I said, this is pre-production, so it's not displaying, but it does have the rear camera mirror. The headliner, super, super premium. We do have a dual panel sunroof, so this front portion is a single panel which opens up. Then you have a very large rear panel, and that's going to have a power sunshade for both your second and third row to enjoy.
All right, guys, so we are in the rear seat of this all-new Hyundai Santa Fe, and I'm happy to say that Hyundai has made it even more spacious than the previous generation model. Like Drew said in the front, they really tried to maximize the overall practicality of this vehicle from the inside out, and you can see that in your legroom figures. 42.3 inches of legroom, 40.5 inches of headroom. Certainly very impressive figures for this segment of vehicle. I believe it might even be one of the class leaders, that's for sure, and this is just a very big improvement. I think it's about 0.6 of an inch larger than the previous Santa Fe. Also, my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. As you can see, I can also slide the second row bench seat forward and back. I can also recline a very good deal, and I'm very comfortable. Drew's talking about naps in the front. I can take one in the back as well. Now, I do want to mention that we have the bench seating configuration. That means that we have 7 passenger seating for the Santa Fe because we do actually have a third row. I'll talk about that more in just a second. You can also get captain's chairs depending on your trim levels and all that. Of course, we don't have the full breakdown of what models it's going to be available on. That will be later on in November when we know those details. Now, here in the center, of course, we have the ability to look at the center console there. We can fold down this area, or pull out this area. That gives us a ton of storage. We have USB ports in the back of each of the seat backs. Additionally, we have the coat hanging headrest, so we can kind of clip on clothes and stuff if we don't want them to get wrinkled. And then we do also have a nice center armrest. If you want to turn to the door trim, we have a nicely finished door trim, leatherette all through the upper part, a window sunshade as well. Additionally, we have a leather armrest portion with a heated rear seat. No ventilation, I don't believe, on this Santa Fe. They're going to save that for Palisade. Also, you do have 2 cup holders right there, as well as one in the very bottom. So overall, a very practical and nice rear seat area in the Santa Fe. I also don't want to forget you have your vents integrated in the B-pillar there. And let's check out the cargo area for this Santa Fe. Before I even open the tailgate, I do want to mention one thing that Hyundai was quick to point out. They said this is the largest or widest opening tailgate in the entire segment. Once again, going for that practicality, even more so than the design. Now, additionally, we also have a standard hands-free power tailgate on every single Santa Fe model, even the base one. They have confirmed that information. Now, I mentioned that there was a third row available. Now, it is folded down on this particular model. You can fold it up manually. It's not going to be a power folding third row. As far as your specs are concerned, it's going to be about 29 inches of legroom, 37 inches of headroom. I'll go ahead and insert a clip of me sitting back there in the hybrid model. It's a pretty good amount of space. It's not like a massive amount. It's not as good as a Hyundai Palisade as you would expect, but it's certainly a really nice option to have for this all-new model. Now, as far as the cargo capacity is concerned back here, we don't have full figures just yet. However, Hyundai says they have made it even larger than the previous generation by about 3 cubic feet. That would mean that we have a maximum of about 75 cubic feet of cargo capacity, and we can electronically fold the second row seats down by just pushing those buttons right there, and they will fold flat if we had the seat adjusted forward. It would be a completely flat loading floor, which is something that they're very proud of for this all-new Santa Fe model. Additionally, in the third row, you have USB ports as well as vents. Now, if we lift up the cargo floor, you will see that we have quite a bit of underfloor storage if it's not enough space already in the rear. And as far as the powertrains are concerned, of course, we are talking about the gas model, not the hybrid in this particular video. So what's under the hood? Well, for the North American market, this is going to be a 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's going to be making 277 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, which are very healthy figures for a vehicle of this size. It's going to be a pretty quick option in the segment, and we've sampled that out in the current Santa Fe, and if you follow the channel, you know that we actually own that 2.5-liter liter turbo in our Sonata inline. Now, as far as the other powertrain option for North America that they have confirmed, that's going to be the hybrid. It's a 1.6 liter turbo, 4-cylinder. That's going to make less horsepower, 227 horsepower, but that's going to be your more fuel economy minded option. It's going to have a 6-speed automatic transmission for the hybrid, or an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission if you choose the turbo gas model like what we have today. As far as the fuel economy figures, Hyundai said they can actually increase the fuel economy over the previous generation because of the very impressive 0.29 coefficient of drag. They're estimating 26 miles a gallon combined for the turbo model, or 36 miles a gallon combined with the hybrid. And lastly, you're probably curious about the price for this all-new Santa Fe. We don't have official details regarding the pricing for this model just yet. Once again, that's going to be coming later in the year, probably in November at the LA Auto Show. Now, as far as availability is concerned for this all-new Santa Fe, for the North American market, you're going to expect to see a Q1 2024 launch, and at the latest, summer of 2024. It's going to launch in Korea a little bit earlier, but for the North American market, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get our hands on one of these Santa Fe's, but not an overly long wait for this model. But guys, we hope you enjoyed watching this in-depth review of the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe in its gas calligraphy trim level. If you enjoyed watching this video, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you help get us invited to events like this where we can show you some of the newest cars on the market first. If you're already a loyal fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, because you do make this all possible. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.